Hello, this is Nathan, better known as CrazyhermitDM, and this is my podcast, The Hermit's Homebrew. Joining me today is Brent from Langeministudio, and Chase, who is better known as Kilk, as we talk about Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop gaming. Tonight we're heading underground into the realm where the gods don't rule quite yet, at least one's hoping to. This is our first session of the year. And we're very happy that Chase is back for at least a beginning of the year special talking about the campaign.
Few episodes.
Yeah. Nice.
The college stuff that I do is kind of on hiatus until I think mid-January. Maybe even like beginning of February.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah.
And then you're talking about possibly coming back in March, or is that been...
Yeah, the leagues end in March.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Cool. So that will probably be when I would be back pretty much full time.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
And then hopefully the house is up by April.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. That's what they're saying. I hope so.
That'd be fantastic, man. Holy shit, I thought it was gonna be summer.
It would be fantastic because
amazing. Yeah.
April's also when the insurance company starts paying for the house.
So yeah.
So I really hope that I'm gonna shout out, by the way, real quick.
Yeah, go
the college, because we're not in the playoffs have finished. Things like that. And I won my first ring.
Oh, good job, man. What the hell?
We're in the middle of designing it.
Oh,
and when I'm saying ring, it's like a Super Bowl ring.
Okay.
Since you actually have not been able to join us on a actual the new campaign.
Yeah, it's been a few months.
Yeah, you haven't been able to join us, so we saw these new campaign things. We are about 6 sessions into Tales of the Valiant. What do we think so far?
This is a question for me. I feel like you guys probably answered it already for you guys.
For me, imposter syndrome is real. Where I'll talk to Ronhi on our way home, and it's like you can ask her like every time we'll get in the truck and I'll turn it on, and we're not even like hitting the main drag. I'm like, so how was that session? Was it good? Did I do okay? Did we have fun, or are we good? Like.
And if she don't answer and it's silent the entire time,
I go, okay, I suck. I'm terrible. I'm never gonna.
No, I haven't had any problems with it at all.
Other than the character builder you and me have talked about, that's about the only thing I have about it. We've been spoiled by D&D Beyond, and more people, more better.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the Doom stacks.
Yes,
that you get if we use inspiration. You get them.
Yeah, we got,
and then you can.
We
got rid of luck quite quick because we just
a little bit, but he still uses it.
Well, yeah, it's been modified.
Yeah,
it's a hybrid between 5th edition Advantage.
I like it,
and Tales of the Valiant luck and
it's our homebrew white chips.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the white. It's a Frank.
I like the Doom chips personally.
I think.
Yeah, that's why I'm like holding on to them. I want to use them for the box.
At first, I didn't understand. I'm like, why is it they're like, yes, I get another one. And then you started using them. Like, oh, he's actually using Doom chips.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought we got rid of it.
Nope.
And then we started using it. I was like, this is great because players have such an advantage.
We've hybrided it into new.
Yeah, to where every time you guys use a point of inspiration, I get a point of inspiration.
Yeah, I like that because players have such a huge advantage compared to monsters when it comes to things like combat. Or when it comes to things like saving throws and stuff like that. Like, you're generally let the players do things like guidance. Right.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah,
But how often do your NPCs hit guidance so that they can roll insight on the character? You know what I mean?
No, I know
that doesn't really happen. So now
we know exactly what you're talking about.
So now we have those Doom stacks, and it allows, the DM to have a little bit more.
Because the last combat we were in, I wanted to hit one of you guys, and I'm like, I had a stack of like 7.
Like 4.
I'm like, nope, rolled. Oh, that's worse. Another one, roll. Ooh, that's worse. Another one. You know what? I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna hold on.
Playing Baldur's Gate 3 lately has been great because I blow inspiration on the dumbest things. I'm just like, what? I want to intimidate this guy. I'm spending all 5 inspirations. I don't care if it's a 21 to hit. Like,
oh my, you will fear me.
Yeah, I'll roll it all. I've liked it so far. I think the big comment I would say for Tales of the Valiant is the fact that it just doesn't have as much accessibility
because it's a new system.
Yeah.
And it isn't produced by wizards.
Yeah, so it doesn't. When I say accessibility,
it's certainly a bad thing.
I'm saying things like in 5e, my wife and I were able to just go on to D&D Beyond.
Yeah, Beyond or
Choose our selections.
or a number of a dozen other third-party products. Yeah.
Choose all our selections and then be like, oh, okay, so these are the spells that I want to know. Oh,
Mhm.
okay, she was a warlock last time. These are my packs that I can look at, or
Mhm.
whatever they're called.
Invocations, yeah. Mhm.
And it's just much harder right now for her because she doesn't do the research on characters or anything like that. So it usually boils down to, hey, this is what you're getting this level. What are you thinking? And then
for any of our long-time listeners, we were talking about Rama.
Yeah, Rama.
Yeah, Rama, yeah.
It's now Annabelle.
Annabelle.
Not the doll.
I mean, she's doll-sized.
Yeah.
Because she's a
fairy.
She's
doll-sized.
Spores.
Yeah. Circle spores. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot better than Warlock, I imagine.
Yeah.
She seems to be clicking into it and actually interacting and role-playing a lot.
Yes. I've noticed that, yeah.
So we have a Baldur's Gate 3 campaign going because Circle Spores Druid is in Baldur's Gate 3. So she's playing her Circle Spores Druid to get a better understanding of the things that she can just naturally do and what those things might look like.
Cool. Yeah, that's
now you can't be a fairy in Baldur's Gate, but you can be a gnome. So just make her a gnome.
And Baldur's Gate has fly, right?
Yeah, as a spell, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
So it's.
Well, I mean, it's
limited though because it's battle maps.
Yeah,
yeah, it's isometric battle maps. Yeah.
Plus, plants are her thing.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Big into gardening, right? She has her.
She has her own YouTube thing talking about it. Yeah.
And then I know with the last campaign, because we were talking about it on our last recap of I was doing the stereotypical DM thing of making the NPCs feel incompetent, adding him as the captain of the guard, adding her as the lead investigator just to get her involved. And then she felt it was a main character syndrome.
She did. She got very big main character syndrome because she didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
At all.
And it's
I think that
this is just your hook to get involved.
I don't think main character syndrome is the right term because main character syndrome is
that's what it was for her, straight up.
But that's the way she felt.
Yeah, her and I have talked about it multiple times. Absolutely, she felt that she was an investigator. She's a celestial investigator investigating stuff for the god of justice. And she felt that she was just kind of thrown into this lead role where she was supposed to be guiding the investigation. Now, with your character as Captain of the Guard, it made it very much easy on her because you're going to do that too. But remember, her backstory was investigator.
No, I know, absolutely. Yeah, she was a private. Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things that, looking back on that campaign, that could have been a really interesting back and forth between her and I.
It could have been.
To where you have the legitimate police officers hate private investigators. Because private investigators kind of they can skirt policies, they can skirt procedures. They get underfoot. They get in the way.
All Saul fans, I was just rewatching it on Prime just for background noise, and Mike's investigating a murder of a person that he was working with, and because the opposing, I guess, faction or mafia killed the dude, but he was acting as a private investigator.
Yeah,
he told this person, "Hey, turn this into the police. But don't mention that I talk to you about this because I'm a private investigator," and they'll just kind of disregard what you say.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot. TV show. You have the private investigator, Hercule Poirot, and then there's the other main character, Inspector Japp. And Japp is, the stereotypical British gumshoe police officer.
Yeah, he's the muscle.
Yeah, and he was get out of my investigation. And he's always showing up. And he's always I'm 1,000 times smarter than anybody in the room. Let me do my job because I'm good at it. I don't care who gets the credit.
Right.
I just want the guilty people to get arrested, and I'm going to get paid because I'm a private investigator. It's what I do. But it's kind of cool because a couple of seasons in, Inspector Japp gets called up to do a public speaking event. For the public to be hey, this is what the police do, and all that kind of fun stuff. Well, Poirot ends up going to it, and Japp is just destroying private investigators. He's none of them are worth anything. They all think they're failed police. They're terrible people. None of them are worth a damn. And Poirot's getting all sad because he was I thought we had a good working relationship. He was feeling bad about himself. He goes, all private investigators are terrible. Except one. And Poirot just kind of stops. He's what? And Japp's Hercule Poirot is one of the smartest men I have ever met. A lot of my cases would not have been solved without him. And so it's a really good moment.
Sure,
He's
yeah.
I respect you because you're good, but people need to understand I have people I answer to. You don't. So
Yeah.
that could have been a really cool back and forth of like, as a captain of the guard, I have the politicians to answer to and all that kind of fun stuff.
And she didn't. She was answering solely to
a higher power,
the god of
her
justice.
goddess, or a god, she became,
Because she's a warlock.
She became-
at least.
yeah.
Herself.
She became a goddess, but yeah, she was the god of.
And it's so funny too,
Yeah.
because looking back on that campaign, if I would have known where her character was going to end up, we would have made her a divine soul sorcerer.
It works.
Um,
You grow.
but
I
I think she just felt that she was so new. She had all these powers. She didn't know what to do with any of them.
That's a 5e thing though too. It's like you get like
you're
you're super.
especially
Yeah,
spellcasters. They ramp
For
it.
Josh, for Josh number 1, not the one that's with us now.
Sure.
He was playing Rufus,
Yeah.
and he didn't want to take his dex up to 20 because he was like level 3 or 4, and he's just like, I don't feel my character should be good. I'm like, why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, just have a good. I mean, if that's part of your backstory, then have it.
Yeah.
Like,
But like he couldn't comprehend.
it's just
being
weird. Yeah, it's weird if you're not trying to play the superhero. But Tales of the Valiant overall, I like the idea that the spellcasters get rituals that they get to choose from that they just always know, because there's just in D&D there was things like detect poison and disease. Like nobody's using that.
Yeah. Why am I gonna burn a fireball slot with that?
Yeah,
Whatever,
like I could use
yeah.
other stuff, but
Yeah.
since they make it a ritual that like her druid character just knows all the time,
rituals are separate from spells. Yeah.
it makes it so much easier for her to just be like, oh, can I just do this? Can I just do that? And she's getting more confident.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I like
You can tell.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. From
And this was her original character.
to now.
A little bit different. The first time that she played D&D was at home. And the character she made there was a Circle of Spores druid too.
Okay.
But it was an elf. I think it was a high elf.
Stereotypical. Yeah.
Yeah. Circle of Spores druid. That was a wild campaign because it only lasted like 3 sessions because playing with the kids was.
Oh, that was it was your family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But otherwise, I think Tales of Valiant is fine. I just feel like we got to find a better.
Character sheet.
We got a better
Character
character builder or
It's
something.
a
Yeah.
third edition, unfortunately to the drive-through RPG person.
Yeah.
I am going to be updating it once. I found basically a real close one to the original ones in the books. And
Okay,
then I'll be updating
cool.
it to
Oh,
that
cool.
once.
And and spoiler alert for my players, but at the end of this dungeon you will be leveling up.
So I hope so. We've been playing almost 6 sessions.
I don't care about not
Oh,
leveling.
and I don't care about
Personally.
it's just like
Levels to me
you
are-
haven't done anything.
I know. Levels to me are irrelevant, so.
You had a foot chase through a city and you've been talking. What have you done to level that weren't worthy of level up?
they dealt with a hell now or a pothole.
No, it was a sinkhole that had a couple of rats pop out of it.
That's
yes,
true.
the rats had knives, but
And they got moonbeamed right
mean-
back down the hole.
yeah, exactly. What have you guys?
For not 4th edition where it's like 10 combat should be the level. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's
Especially
no.
4th edition.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I don't know. Tales of Valiant's cool. You can't really tell you're playing anything different.
No.
Like, to be honest with you, if we went back to 5e with just
we would do it so seamlessly it wouldn't even be
with just your Doom tokens,
Mhm. Oh,
I'd
it'd be
be
pretty much the same thing.
That it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Well, and that's actually the point of Tales of the Valiant is that Kobold Press made it to get away from like OGL shenanigans.
Yeah.
So they made something similar enough that all of their old content could still work with it without having to worry about future content stepping on Wizards of the Coast.
It took a little bit for us to get going. I feel like we went in a different route than you were expecting as a DM.
Oh, a little bit, yeah, but
And I feel like it threw you off a little bit.
it did, but it's because, in my opinion, it's because I tried something new.
Sure.
Everybody had their own, like, I was expecting like a 15-20 minute prologue
Sure.
to get everybody together.
And it took like an hour and a half for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's
like,
George R. R. Martin.
yeah,
fault.
and I should have expected that because that's how D&D goes.
Yeah.
know?
And it did bother me. I was not unhappy sitting
I've
there
said
while
it
everyone was
before
doing
on one of
their
these
stuff.
episodes,
So it's
it's
fine.
like the only thing I would have done if it was me is I just would have paired it.
Yeah,
with
start
Brent.
pairing people up. Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
you two coming together, you two coming together, you
Sure.
two coming together. just
Yeah,
to cut it in
exactly.
half.
Yeah, and that's
Just you guys
fantastic.
tell me how you guys know each other.
Yeah, fantastic.
This episode's been brought to you by. So every GM here starts small when building a campaign, right? a tavern, a village, a few NPCs. But what if your players want something more, without you feeling overwhelmed? That's where Centurion 3D Studios steps in. Their new miniature village set lets you start small, but it's over 30 build-out options. Infinite ways to grow your world. Centurion 3D Studios is for the GMs that want to start small, but go big for their players. Alright, fellow hermits, Heimdall has just dropped their new dice line, and they come in a unique LED display box that makes them look like they're pulled straight out of a mythical ancient Viking vault. And the dice themselves, they're runic. Fulthark-inspired font on the faces, but the wild part is they've got this iridescent finish that literally changes when the light hits them. It's like your dice are actually filled with magic. If you want to show off the dice in a totally new way, grab one of these 5 sets, if not all of them. There's something out of the 9 realms themselves.
The crazy thing is how I got to Svartalheim.
Mm-hmm.
Like, before we started our campaign, like, I was brainstorming. Like, how'd my character get there? He obviously got sent there by Skald. Like, where do I pop out? What am I doing when I pop out? Like, I had all this stuff planned. And then I have no plans of changing my character's appearance, even though I'm a changeling, unless people die around me.
Oh, and then you take their form?
Then I basically have 2 forms for when people die.
Mm.
One is more, I call it angelic, but since we're in the Norse world, it's more of like celestial Valkyrie looking.
Mm-hmm.
And then one is more like Reaper looking.
Okay.
With like black wings. And it basically, if they're not going to Valhalla,
Basically,
and while they're
death.
Yeah, and while they're dying,
they're gonna go to hell or heal.
I'm just like, looks like you're going down.
Yeah, you're going down. Yeah,
with that look,
you're going to Niflheim.
But if they're dying in a good way, or they're going
up
to Valhalla or whatever, I would take on, hey, don't worry, you're gonna go. Now, granted, it's the Valkyries that are jacking people's souls once they die. This is just something for me as a player to do when people die.
Yeah, only if they die in combat.
Sure,
if you were an old guy that just died in your bed, Valkyries didn't come for you.
Right.
They were like, nah, I got better things to do.
And then it's been fun, because he's a totally different character than Toy Bar.
The biggest
night and day
adjustment from like last campaign to this campaign is us keep asking, what time of day is it? Because we're in Svartalheim and things like
there isn't one
time of day.
Yeah, like you don't know what time of day it is. It looks
none
identical.
Of us have like that keen mind.
Yeah, to where
you
just know.
Yeah, it's like, what time of day is it? Mm.
Yeah, so when you threw me, and I was dressed as an elf too, and I look at my sheet, I'm like, I'm an elf, and I'm like, man, I don't even think that I know
Elven. Yeah,
but when that happened, that was perfect for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have to do better as a player. So there's some things as a player that I try to telegraph to the DM to get back and forth. And one of them during that session was, I was like, oh no, I don't even speak Elvish.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but in my brain, I was like, this is perfect. I'd never thought about this, but when it happened, it was perfect because I don't speak Elvish. I'm dressed as an elf. Going up to talk to elves. Like, he's an elf. And then I go and speak Dwarvish straight to
just straight, yeah.
Or the barkeep, I think, was an elf too. And like, I was just like straight Dwarvish.
Yeah.
And he just answered back, and I was like, man, I was trying to set this up as a way for me to be like, yeah, I'm not changing again. Because you threw me into that situation, I was like, oh, this is great. I can turn this situation around as to why I'm not going to change into things. Because
I got you.
The first thing I change into, I can't even speak.
A role play opportunity.
Yeah.
Which is, an advanced player thing.
Well, yeah, which is amazing, yeah.
And that's why when you were like, oh my God, I didn't know that you had this set up, I'm like, don't worry about it. This is perfect.
Like, and that was kind of thing is like, I was very like, I felt that because I felt like I took away some of your agency.
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm the player that does.
If anything, you get like, he turned it into more agency.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I have basically magical skin, which is cool. Like when I say my skin's Rorschach.
Oh yeah,
it moves. Like as the changeling when I'm not changed, and you guys can retcon that if you want to, if that's not what you want changelings to look like in the world when they're naked.
Changeling is unique.
AK not wearing someone's skin.
Yeah.
Even in our book, I don't even know if I'll put them in our book.
And you wouldn't have to, because he was a created being.
Yeah. He could be the only changeling ever to exist.
And it was like, just moving around. And so that was fun. It was just a cool design concept. I felt a little bad, because I got the fighter shirt. And when you told me I tank, you're like, oh, you could be I tank. And I'm like, oh, that's so good. And I wrote a whole backstory for him and everything.
Yeah, you sent me
I was ready to go with I tank. But this character has been interesting for me. It's not the happy-go-lucky toy bar character where I can do just
It's a lot more stoic and contemplative and
but I am
calculating, which is
it's hard.
Toy Bars was not calculating.
No. But this character, I'm still finding my moments, to do the goofy stuff, right? What's her name walked by me and I slapped her in the ass.
Oh, Ronhi, the Goliath monk. Yeah.
I was just like standing there, hanging out, and she's like, well, I'm going to go see what they're doing. And I have guidance.
Yeah.
And you have to touch people. So when she walked by, I just, smacked her as she walked by. And then my character doesn't know nothing. Like,
He doesn't know about boundaries.
No, he's just,
it's like arm next time.
Did the arm next time?
Yeah, it's like what,
I did. Okay. I think I smacked her on the shoulder or something. But it's been different. I have to stop myself from doing too shenanigan-y stuff. And it's been harder to stay true to my character in these few sessions because I have to be an asshole to my party sometimes. And that doesn't click normal with me. Like, right, Josh was going to try to kill the gnome, and I rolled my fate dice, and it came up positive, so I'm not letting this gnome die. And, like...
that creates good conflict and role-playing moments.
It does.
Exactly.
It's just not what I'm used to as a player. I'm used to being the team player and, like, helping and trying to do things. And this way, like, Josh was like, I'm going to try to do this. And I'm like, I go stay in front of that guy, and I ready in action.
Yeah.
And Josh likes to push the boundary of things with his character, and I love it. I think it's fantastic because he's the rat character.
Yeah,
and it's wonderful. I literally thought that I was going to attack him that session, because if he would have tried to come over and do it, I would have just straight up.
No, he's good.
But I telegraphed it as much as I could.
Like game systems I played with him, he's good at skirting the boundaries.
Yes,
making it look like he's going to cross that.
He has no issue with PvP, but it's not his primary goal.
Right. And I don't think that's his character's even goal.
No,
but it isn't a strong suit.
And usually we do what we can not to have people.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if it's going to happen in those situations, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
and I thought he played it great. It would have just been the first moment as a player where, like, in that moment, if he would have tried to come and knock that statue off, like, I'm blowing cooldowns, like, he's going to get
striking.
Smashed.
Yeah,
I was ready to go full smash because that's what my guy would have done.
Yeah,
and smash this statue that my goddess has just told me this guy doesn't die, and I'm like, okay, then this guy does.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just different because Toy Bar would never put himself in that situation.
Yeah,
Toy Bar would have been like, what? We kill that guy? But why?
Yeah,
like, he would have tried to make it lighthearted, whereas this character is just like...
Last session was a lot of fun, though. Like, getting our first, like, big quest started. We came across the Loot Goblin.
The Loot Goblin was fun.
The Loot Goblin is actually an idea from Josh, 100%.
Oh,
because he and I played Diablo together.
Okay, all rolling good and all that, too.
Yeah,
which, benefit to, like, our sponsor.
Were we, though?
I was.
How many tokens did you get last week? You got like inspiration.
Yeah, I was, but the thing is, that was a build up of a couple of sessions. I did think I got like 4.
Yeah, I burned through 2 luck. Shout out to our sponsors, Heimdiller, because that's the ones we
those dice.
Yeah, and they're gorgeous, and I'm fully enjoying rolling with them. They're
absolutely.
rolling actually good with me.
Yeah, and I think they're for me at least, they've been very balanced because, like I said, I burned a couple of.
Well, yeah, they're not Chessex clear ones where you get the bubbles.
Yeah, exactly. But that Loot Goblin, that is actually, I was talking to Josh, that's bringing to a head something.
Oh, for sure.
To where he's kind of like, does Ronhi have a problem with killing things?
Oh,
And I was like, no, why? Like, why was she not like, why are we fighting this goblin? Why are we doing this?
has
Like,
he not? Is this? Has he ever played D&D with her before?
No.
no.
Okay.
He's played Fallout. He
Okay.
played Fallout with her, but she's playing a different character.
Yeah.
And it's not like her character, the Goliath monk, is non-violent. It's just she's like, this
It's
guy's
still,
not a
I've told Ronnie and all that. It's still core principle of the player. That's
Will not fight unless she has to.
yeah, she's like, this guy hasn't attacked us. Why are we
Yeah.
fighting him? And Josh is like, it's a loot goblin.
Yeah. he's-
And yeah,
I did from a character perspective, like when the Loot Goblin I saw it and it saw me, it's like this thing. It's the same mentality of like if you see one ant, more than likely there's 10 others.
Yeah.
We are screwed.
yeah, exactly.
And that was a fun little situation for just the two players to
yeah.
run off and do stuff in.
Mhm.
And that's hard to do at a table.
Oh yeah,
It's hard to get the party to kind of pseudo split up, right? Because
Mhm.
even when that happened, I'm like, what, you guys are running out into the darkness?
I fully expected either Ronhi or Ephraim to be like, wake everybody up, we got a problem. You know,
Right.
because here's the whatever.
I'm also like playing. It's like he still doesn't fully trust everyone.
Well, yeah, he barely
Yeah.
knows these people,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, it's like, why would I stick my neck out?
He has a good feeling about Malcolm, and he seems to be getting along.
Which
with
is so
the-
funny. Because I'm the antithesis to his
And-
goddess.
But he's also getting along with Rick as well.
Oh, the funny thing is that your two characters are working together, but I think you two as players had a really interesting back and forth with the Loot Goblin because Josh is like, I know you got a bunch of stuff. Why are you not telling people about it? Why are you not giving it out? Josh is so like loot driven
Yeah.
as a player because he comes from that like
World of Warcraft area?
yeah that
Okay.
he's a really big video gamer. So he is
So I
all
can tell I was.
he is all about that loot. And so
I
when
think-
you
I mean-
took everything and didn't say anything, he was like, no, you're going to give me something.
The first thing that it drops is an immovable rod, which,
That wasn't the first thing it dropped, but
well, the first loot goblin drops an immovable rod, and
It's so much fun.
yeah.
And that's all I thought. I'm like, nope.
Because I went in and I was looking at the lists of like common magic items. Common and uncommon. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's like level 1, like level 0 or level 1 spell 1, or whatever. And so I started things, and well, all of a sudden, under uncommon, immovable rod pops up. That could be so interesting because I come from like 3rd edition 3.5, where one of the big things is to get like 3 or 4 of them.
There's like it's almost like a magic button at the end of the rod.
yeah.
It's either depends on who you ask, but at the end
So-
or in the middle. But yeah, you just hold it out. Just
Called to me was because it's 4th edition. And you're playing Munchkin D&D.
Yeah.
I had one person that had 2 of them,
yes,
and basically
could climb
the wall.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a thing in 3.5 is to get 3 or 4 of those, and you now have an infinite ladder.
So there's
Or whatever.
My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a hero, Locke,
Oh yeah.
who he just takes things and he can just freeze things in space.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's his whole thing. And the immovable rod reminds me of basically his power.
Yeah.
You can just throw it up and you can hit the button and just leave.
Yeah, you can take the immovable rod, hold it out in front of you, push the button and let it go, and it will now
Oh, really?
it is now locked in time and space right there.
What's his name that does the Dimension 20?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Brendan Mold.
Yes, he has.
Brandon
He
Morgan.
talks about a story about how one time they were doing an airship, and basically the guy was like, "Don't worry, I got this," and he just hit the immovable rod
Oh,
and left
no.
it there, and the airship kept going, and the other airship just comes and slams right into it. And he's like, "Now as a DM, I got to figure out how that works. How much damage does this airship take before the immovable rod breaks?"
To be fair, it's not how much damage, it's a strength check. You can overcome it
Yeah,
to where, but it's kind of high. I
Yeah,
think
it's-
it's like the 20s.
But does it
Yeah.
break a hole in the bow?
exactly. Right? Does it
And
knock
so now
something through? Like,
and so now is it like fall?
'Cause I
Is it
doubt-
like I would rule it personally as if the airship is falling into it, and so now the airship takes fall damage.
I mean,
Because it's
Probably, unless it's like some sort of spell
Well-
or campaign. It's some sort of standard thing.
yes,
yeah, it's an air.
It's
Sitting
standard
airship.
It's just flies.
Yeah,
It's going to
airship.
crash through that wood.
yeah, and so it would deal damage, but wood has hardness.
All kinds of shenanigans.
Yeah, there's
man.
so there's a little
There's
bit
so
of game
many
physics.
shenanigans that you can
And then
do.
now you've got to figure out how much force that ship is imparting onto that rod.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. That's why I was when he got the immovable rod, I was like, man, already we're gonna have some fun.
Oh, and that's the reason why I put it in this loot chest or this loot bag.
And there's like the wand.
There's a wand that I'm okay with talking about. It's a wand of acid splash.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It's a wand of acid splash. There's a potion.
There's a potion, a healing potion.
Yep.
Color spray. A scroll.
A scroll of no, it wasn't color spray. It's
some
chromatic orb.
Yeah.
Yeah, chromatic orb.
Multicolored.
Yeah,
it's chromatic orb. Josh, I think.
There's some gems.
Yeah, there's some bloodstones each worth 50 gold each, and I just pocketed those. I have no money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I have 4 gold.
Oh, really?
Because I rolled shitty on my starting gold.
Yep. Yeah, I threw in a bunch of like common like level, not game breaking, appropriate for level.
On like buying that is cost of living.
Yeah, no, exactly.
For me.
Yeah,
just like
because mainly what that loot goblin that I gave out right there is actually going to be the easiest loot goblin you guys are going to find.
Oh, sure.
Because I wanted it to be an introduction of a mechanic so that you guys would know what this is, especially those that don't come from a Diablo background.
Right.
Know what it is.
I do have to give credit though to my dice once again to Heimdiller because I got to crit it.
You rolled really well.
Yeah, you rolled really good. Yeah,
you were critting left and right.
I was talking to Josh afterwards, and he was like, "Dude, I was sweating bullets that fight because he knew what it was. He didn't want it to get away. So when it started casting the spell to open the portal, he was like, get it now. Loot goblins in Diablo are just something to make the player think about something other than combat.
Yeah.
Even though the loot goblin runs away and it will run into like random encounters. So that you don't have to make
it'll run through the map.
And then
it drops gold every time you hit it.
It leaves a trail so you know where it goes.
Chase it.
Yeah. But again, if you're not geared properly enough, the natural monsters of the map could kill you while you're trying to fight.
Or you just don't do enough damage to kill them.
Yeah, it's a DPS check, essentially.
And for our geometry fans for the podcast, the geometry math for this particular episode is 90-degree angles. That's what helped.
Oh my god, yeah, that was such a thing to where we're sitting there doing casual geometry.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what's the hypotenuse of this? Like,
because it was a right angle.
Yeah.
The only reason it worked is because it was
the only reason it was a right angle, and that D&D gives you that 5-foot leeway.
Yep.
I'm like, no, that can't be right. It's because it went 30 feet this way, it went 30 feet this way.
And it was
this can't be 30 feet, and it wasn't. But it was enough. It was close where you started here and you got there, you were within melee, and you're like, okay, it works out. You fudge a little bit.
It's because in D&D you can move diagonally.
Yeah, exactly.
And that covers.
So whip it. I whipped my phone and I'm like, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Like, where's the square root button on my phone? I'm like, it completely stopped the campaign or the session for seconds. I'm like, I got to figure this out. This ain't right.
Sitting there, and you were like, oh man, I'm like 5 minutes, and I'm like,
wait a minute.
You're like, I'm 5 feet short, and I was just sitting there looking at the boxes, and I'm like, I don't think he is.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
yeah. So you're like, no, it works. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
And then I'm counting this way, and I'm like, yeah, he makes it. He can hit that 5 feet. He's
good. It's because TTRPGs like
would have been even better if you had Annabelle with you, because she has 10-foot attack range because she uses a whip.
Oh, she uses the whip.
Oh, shit.
Just shillelagh it. See, that's why I expected you guys to go back and get the party action economy.
Yeah.
If you guys would have action economy this thing, it would have been done in like 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But because there was 1.5,
it was more fun to show the chase, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that was a fun interaction.
Because essentially, even though it was Ephraim, our Witcher, then we had Ranhi, Sansol Monk, and then Rick wasn't there, but his familiar role was.
Yeah.
And so you had
we give him a lot of leeway with roll, which I'm okay with. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's his warlock subclass.
Yeah, he's packed of the
right, but technically it can't go further than 100 feet away from him.
I think
it never did.
Well, we've had situations where he's like halfway across the city, and which is fine. Like, that doesn't bother me.
Which is interesting because he has the ability that he can look through its eyes as long as it's on its same plane of existence.
Yeah,
it literally says that.
Yeah,
so it can't go more than 100 feet away. Why would that rule even exist?
I don't know.
So I think it can.
The stuff that I was looking at Warlock, they just don't have. They have to be within a certain range of their familiar, otherwise it just disappears.
I will have to do more research into that. But yeah, that's interesting.
I have never played a Pact of the Chain Warlock. Obviously, when I was doing it with Rama, it was Celestial.
Yeah.
Pact of the Amulet.
Talisman. Pact of the Talisman.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. We actually chose that because it was just the simplest. To be fair, she picked a pretty complicated character to go for off the rip. Now
It did, but it was still interesting.
Celestial, Warlock, Pact of the Talisman. I am really interested in seeing how our characters end up interacting later on in the campaign.
I'm definitely interested in that, especially since we're hopefully playing right at the start of the year. Hey, tabletop gamers. Thank you for watching this episode of the Hermit's Homebrew. We come out with new episodes every Wednesday. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends as we continue to level up and grow.